And what's going on, you guys? This is your boy Scotty by Nature TV, and we're here for the 93rd episode of the Prelude with Scotty and Jamar. Okay, and you guys already know I have a special guest here with us tonight, and it is one of the new cast members of the hit reality show on Bravo TV called Married to Medicine. She is here. You know, her real name is Letitia, but we all affectionately know her as Sweet Tea. And she's really nice. I didn't talk to her quite a bit. That's why we kind of late, because I was back here talking to her. But anyway, we're about to bring Sweet Tea in the building. We're gonna talk about the show. We're gonna talk about her personal life, and everything. So let's go ahead and get into it. So let's welcome Sweet Tea. What's going on?
Hey, Scotty, my nature. I definitely am a follower of you, so I've been watching some of your content. I really, really appreciate you for having me.
You know what? I'm gonna start it off with that. Because when you first told me that you were you followed my content, you watched my content and stuff like that, I was very surprised.
Oh, don't be surprised. Look, I'm just a regular girl. I'm just a regular girl. Just that's all I am. I be at home. I work from home. I have an everyday type of job, and sometimes you seek for people that follow you and have positive things to say. And then, I like fair commentary. And like, I really appreciate your commentary because it's fair. Because I remember you saying that I had a right to be mad at Heavenly. And I'm like, finally, like, I definitely have a right to be. So it's just interesting navigating into this industry and I'm learning so much about social media and how people are, and like Twitter is its own beast. And I wasn't that involved in social media prior, but now I'm like, it's crazy to go from working from home every day, having my little couple thousand followers. I only had a little bit, and then boom, it was just like I was trending, and it was like a lot of negative stuff. So it takes time to get used to that kind of thing.
Well, I'm not no reality star like you, but even as a YouTuber, like I'm an everyday person. I have an everyday job. I come home, I do this, but then you get followers, and then you have people who love you, and you got people who really don't like you like that, and that's perfectly fine. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
right,
saying?
right. I actually believe that the YouTubers are surpassing the reality stars. Like, I feel like the
You think
YouTubers, that's where it's at. I just feel like that's people, they making money out there, and I would rather, honestly, I don't know if I have the courage to be a YouTuber.
so? Well, it ain't that easy. I can tell
I
you
know it
that.
ain't easy, yes.
Yeah,
So
it
I'm
is.
trying to get used to it myself, and my publicist asked me to post like something on my story on YouTube, and I'm like, YouTube is a different beast, baby.
Oh, yes, it is. Trust me. Okay. Well, we're gonna start it off. We're not gonna go all the way into the show right now. We're gonna start it off with your life before the show, like pre
Okay.
the show. So, you were born in. I mean, not were born. I think you were born in like Arkansas, right?
Arkansas, yes.
But you were raised in like Killeen,
Killeen,
right?
Texas, yes.
Okay,
Military
so
town.
how was life in Killeen, Texas? Because I have cousins that live in Killeen, Texas.
Oh, wow. Okay,
So,
so Killeen is Killeen is a military town. It's very diverse because it's a lot of people. They end up retiring there and stay there. But I actually ended up moving to Killeen because of my dad. My dad, he was like 16 when he had me. He moved from Arkansas and moved in the house of my uncle who was stationed in Fort Hood at the time. He was in the Army, and my dad, he pulled himself up by his own bootstraps, and he's working construction, and he ended up moving us from Arkansas. But Killeen, growing up, it was just very diverse. I had a lot of different type of friends from different nationalities and interracial. It was very, very diverse, and I learned a lot about different cultures being in Killeen. But it's kind of like a melting pot, just full of people. And some people may look at Killeen in a negative way because we've had a lot of like shootings on Fort Hood and all that. They actually, I think they changed the name now. I can't remember what it's called, but there's been so many tragedies that has happened in Killeen. And for years, most times that's what we were known for. When I
yeah.
first moved to Killeen, I think they had the Ludi's incident back in 1991, and I moved in 1993, but everybody was still talking about that. That used to be the biggest massacre in Killeen. But Being in Killeen kind of encouraged me to join the military. Actually, I joined the Air Force, even though it's an Army base out there. I actually joined the Air Force, and it was really cool. I ended up joining with my sister, and I was in the reserves. Helped me throughout school. I went to the University of North Texas, and I actually went active duty for 2 years. I was in San Antonio and was a pharmacy tech, and then I went into the information analyst world, and then I moved to DC. I know I'm just running off the mouth.
Well, I never knew that Killeen was like a military-based town, but it kind of makes sense to me now because my cousin, who is older than me, I know that she was born here, but she grew up in Killeen. I know her father was, I think he was in the army too, so it kind of makes sense now. I
Right.
never knew that. Okay, so you said you was in the military. So what made you want to go into the military? Because I've always been afraid of the whole military thing. So what?
Just being in Killeen, and just it's a military town. So my mom actually encouraged me to do it, and I knew that they had a lot of benefits to help with school. And because me and my sister were twins, I knew that I was going to need help financially. My parents probably may need help financially providing for us to go to school. So, you know, being in the Air Force, I heard those were the better service out of all of them. So I just felt like it was a good idea to go into that. And I love like serving people. Like I'm really big on community service. So like, serving my country and serving my people, I thought that was just natural for me to do that. And in being part of the Air Force, I ended up going in as a pharmacy tech, and I really enjoyed it. That was helping people. I got to deal with people that were like sick, and I helped them make them feel better. So I really enjoyed it.
Well, whenever I hear the word like military, all I think about is people going to war with guns and stuff. So that's why I was
That's
so
why you like,
scared of
uh-uh.
it.
I know a lot of my family be like, whenever Trump was off, Trump crazy, I ain't going over there. I'm like, I never did deploy. My sister deployed twice while she was in the Air Force, and I volunteered to go, but I had some type of condition. I had a blood condition where I couldn't go. So I ended up staying behind. But people are really surprised because actually the Air Force reservists are the first ones that are on the front line. So I did get the opportunity to deploy, but I ended up, because of my medical reasons, I ended up not going. But no, like it's not that bad. There's a lot of benefits out there in the military, especially in the Air Force. Me being in a pharmacy tech, I kind of got bored with it. I really did enjoy inpatient pharmacy, but
Mhm.
outpatient dealing with, I was like in college doing retail pharmacy, and I hated that. I worked at Walgreens. And once I graduated college, I actually ended up going to San Antonio. I went active duty for 2 years, and I found out about these assignments that you can volunteer for. And I volunteered for working at this advancement distance learning section within the Air Force. I volunteered like doing what is it called, information analyst work, and I really enjoyed that because it was outside of my career field because I'm originally a pharmacy tech. But you can volunteer for these opportunities, and it was just a way for me to learn new just learn new things and a new skill. And while I was doing that, while I was on active duty, I worked at night, and I worked for the different government agency called National Security Agency, and I worked cleaning at night. But I only did that to up my clearance because I had a secret clearance in the Air Force. So I upgraded to a top secret, and it just opened so many doors for me. And I ended up moving to DC. I started working for the intelligence community. There's some loopholes. The military ain't so bad. Go in there and do your get your little medical admin job real quick. Do your little 3 years. 3 to 6 years, and then go ahead and get out, claim your VA. I enjoyed my time, the time that I was in, so I miss it. Sometimes I even think about going back into the reserves so I can go, just to travel and volunteer for other assignments.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, because you went right into it. I was just about to ask you, about the whole medical field thing, and how did you like being in the medical field and stuff like that. So.
I did. I enjoyed it. Being a pharmacy tech, I didn't know. Like I thought it was just, I'm gonna be working at Walgreens, but no, we do inpatient pharmacy. We're making the IV bags and stuff like that. And I really did enjoy it, and I learned a lot about medicine. And it's been a while. I haven't touched on it in a while, but like I actually had thought about going back to teach pharmacy because I really enjoyed learning about the different drugs and stuff like that. Like I believe one of the first drugs that I learned was I think it was Docalax
Mhm.
and then like the generic version of that is bisoconol. And then I like the way I remembered that because it's like a laxative. So I was like, oh, I ride my bike and take that shit. So I just used to, I come up with stories with my drugs. And I used to really enjoy that. I was like, I could go back and teach this because I be coming up with stuff. But I enjoyed it. I worked in toxicology. I worked in medical billing. I did a lot of medical admin stuff. So I really enjoyed working in the medical industry.
All right then. Now since we got, the pre-married to medicine stuff out the way, we still kind of pre-married to medicine, but we got to get into Dr. G. Now we got to get into.
All right.
Now, how did that come about?
Listen. So what happened was, okay, well, I met Gregory through the DMs. I slid in his DMs,
Hmm.
and he happened to pop up on my Instagram, and I knew enough about the show. Like I wasn't an avid watcher, but I knew enough about it. I was like, okay, let me see. You know, at the time, my sister was married. She had just had a baby, and those are the things. I had everything that I wanted in life. Like I was making really good money, and I was in DC living my best life. I was dating, but I was like, man, these men ain't about shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I started dating older men. And because I felt like the men my age, they weren't very as ambitious as I was. And a lot of them weren't even looking to settle down. So I was like, I'm a day older. As long as he's fine or whatever, it is what it is. So I came across his profile and I saw this. It was a post that he had. A woman had a baby in her pants, and at the time, I was like, I was ready to have a baby. I wanted a family. I'm looking at my twin sister right now, like, damn, I want what she has. And I slid in his DMs, and I was like, hey, what's up? I'll give you what you want. That was just the attention getter. You know what I'm saying? The attention getter. And he was like, you don't even live here. And I was like, I'm only a flight away or whatever. So we started FaceTiming and talking on the phone. And, we really got close. And whenever I came to visit, my family lives out in Lawrenceville, so a few minutes away from Atlanta. And
I know that's not right now. Not a couple of few minutes now, because
it's
I
okay,
know
like
that.
45. Okay, about 45 minutes.
Okay, because I've been in Lawrenceville, honey. That is longer than a few
It
minutes.
is kind of far, yeah. So I went to go visit family, and then me and Gregory actually met up, and we just really hit it off. Like he was just so sweet. Like he ended up taking me out to eat, and then he was on call that weekend. He was working. He was like, "Hey, I got at the time I believe the ex mayor lived across the street, so he was like, I'm really having a good time with you. Let's go back to my place. Let's chill." And he was gonna take a nap. So when he was like, I got the police right across the street. I can show you if you want to call your mom real quick, do that. And I thought he was nice. And then we got to his house. He showed me around. He was like, I'm gonna take a nap. You can stay in this room and watch TV. And then like he left me alone. I was in that room, and then we got up and we went to Top Golf. Then we was kicking it. We was having a good time. Like he was really sweet. And we dated that whole weekend, like just saw each other nonstop. I barely spent time with my auntie. I was like, dang. And I saw my cousins while I was there, but when I got on that plane going back home, I knew. Like I was like, this is my husband. I just kind of knew that.
So you knew that was gonna be your husband from the moment that you hit him up in the DMs.
No, I knew that he was gonna be my husband once we met.
Of once y'all met, because see, you was on that Alicia Keys, you don't know my name type of stuff. You this the West Coffee House on 39th and Lennox.
Yeah, it was just after we spent some time together, and we felt really just comfortable with each other. We'd be on the phone all the time, and we were long distance. So after a while, we dated for a while. We took a break, and then we took a break for a bit because he was like, "You're so young," and he was kind of self conscious about me being young. Like he was just like, "You just look so young. I feel like people might be looking at us." I'm like, "Dang, like I look that? I didn't think I looked that young, but." He was self-conscious about it, and he was like, I don't know if I can have kids, and I don't know if it's too late for me because he was in his 50s. And I was just like, you gotta live life to the fullest, baby. And we just ended up, we took that break, and then we ended up got really serious, and we were just back and forth. I was in Atlanta at times, and then he come to DC, and we just back and forth, and we made it work through COVID.
I know how that is. Not
Hmm.
making this about me.
Oh, you know what? You know how it is.
But so now that we got that, so did you ever think that you would be on reality TV? And did you ever want to be on reality TV?
No, I did not. And I thought when I met Gregory, I thought that he would just be done with that whole thing, because sometimes I was like, maybe there were things that were happening in his life, and he was like, well, I don't know if this is happening because I was on the show, or I'm getting treated this way because I was on the show.
Hmm.
And I was just telling him when we were dating, I was like, you don't have to do that. And I didn't aspire to be on no show either. But it wasn't until the first 50 Shades of Pink back in 2021 that Jackie held, is when I met Jackie and the dentist. And I don't even like saying her name because I really don't fuck with her in real life. But
So we're gonna get into her in a minute.
yeah, so they both wanted me to be on the show, but I lived in DC at the time working for the intelligence community. I was like telling them like that ain't gonna work. And plus I had fears of my own about being on TV. I don't even like doing public speaking. But I'm learning that it's just like it's a muscle. You get better with it. And
Hmm.
I was like, nah, I wasn't really feeling it. And I remember like seeing Heavenly, I think she was recording me with her phone. I had a feeling that she was. And I was telling Gregory, we need to get these bitches. Like I was telling Gregory, I remember not having the best day that day. I think I was just irritable. So they were talking to me about the show, and I was like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. We weren't even engaged yet. So it was just like, I didn't feel like that was right. And it wasn't until the next one that we met up, I was engaged, and I had now just I had moved to Atlanta, and they were talking about me being a part of the show again. And I was like, ooh, I don't know. But one thing about me, I think I've noticed about myself is I just try new things. Like I ain't never thought that I would be in the intelligence community. I never thought I would really was going to be joining the military. There's a lot of things that I've done. Like I wrestled back in the day. I never thought I would do that. I just be trying stuff just to see how it goes. If it don't work out, it don't work out. So I just another milestone in my life. I just said, okay, I'll try it out. After speaking to the dentist, she had she persuaded me to be a part of it and just explaining like, look, this ain't something that comes to you every day. Is good money in this. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is that you want to do, you can do. That's what she was telling me. So I was like, okay, sounds good. I can open up doors for my family and friends if they want to market a business or whatever. There's power in it. So I was just like, okay, well, why not? And I was nervous about it. And I don't know if you've seen those tweets I had sent out
Hmm.
with those messages that I
Uh-huh.
sent
I
out.
saw that. I talked
Yeah,
about it.
and I think I even put it on there. Like that was back in 2020, 2022, and she was convincing me to be a part of the show, like, and then also she was like, she wanted me to help out Gregory's ex-wife also, because she was like, look at it like this. She was like, you help another black woman out, because she was like, I don't know if there were some things going on behind the scenes with her and the contracts and the producer. So she was just like, look at it like this: you helping another black woman out. She doesn't have a storyline, and she don't have much to fall back on. This is her main source of income. And that's not why in my head, I was thinking like, I don't really care about that because that's not my concern. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I will come on for my own benefit. But also, I got to know Simone. Simone was my OBGYN when I first moved. Gregory recommended me to go to her. And Cecil and them, they came to the house. Me and Toya, we started talking. We went out to lunch to really just see how we meshed. We was hanging out at Houston's, getting to know each other, and she was inviting me to her house. And I was like, I like her, and I like Simone. And I had already been going to Jackie's her 50 Shades of Pink event. So I was like, it seems like the relationships are genuine. I didn't know these hoes was gonna turn up on my ass on when the damn cameras turn on. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that.
Oh my God. Okay. So it's like every time I ask you a question, you always answer the question that's coming right after it. Oh my god.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But no, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But what I will do, I will remix the question. How was it like going through the process of getting on Married to Medicine?
Say it again.
Like what was it like the whole process of it, like
Oh,
getting ready to be on the show, trying to figure what you gonna do on the show, your position, like.
I didn't listen. Let me tell you, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I'm like, I had remember going to Dallas because I had my own bachelorette party with my close friends and family, and I was like, when they was talking to me like, what's gonna happen? I'm like, I didn't know what to do. And one day they just showed up at my house, like some of the producers, and we finally said yes because the producers had been asking us to come on to the show. We finally said yes. And then when they came, I was just like, wow, it's rolling deep up in here. And I was like, damn, it's like this. I've never seen nothing like that before. I've never seen filming done or been out and about and seen those type of camera crew before. So I was like, whoa, this is a lot. And they was like, okay, so this is what we got planned. We're going to do this. Your wedding, when it's your wedding, okay, we're going to do this. I was like, dang, I was overwhelmed. And then it was like, okay, we're going to start you off slow. Because I remember calling James Knox. He was the showrunner, and I was like, I was about to back out because I was like, I don't really have much to show y'all. Like I work from home and stuff, and I'm getting married, and then I had recently went to the hospital because of my endometriosis. I ended up going to the hospital, and I was like, I don't really have much. My life is kind of boring. And he was all like, you have something to offer. I watch your taping, and you have something to offer. And I was like, okay, so I just ended up doing it, and he was like, "We're gonna start you off slow," and then all of a sudden it was like, "You got the first cast event, all cast event." I was like, "What's that?" And he was like, "You gonna throw a party?" I was like, "Dang!" I'm like, "I'm planning a wedding, I'm gonna throw a party." So yeah, so we did the hoedown. So and so the first episode is the hoedown, and this first episode was called Southern Sweet Tea, introducing who I am. So it's like whenever you doing stuff, it's like you never know how they gonna piece it together. So when y'all watch it, I'll be just as shocked as y'all. Like, oh, okay. Oh, that ain't how that happened. It's just weird.
Yeah, I bet you sit back and you be watching it like, they took that out, they took that out, they added
Yeah, I
that up in
do.
there.
And I be mad too. I be mad. I try not to watch it because I be so upset about it because I'm like, now that ain't how that played out. And then it just be frustrating me because sometimes they don't show the whole story. And I guess they don't have time to. So they're gonna tell the story how they want to tell the story.
Right.
And you
Yeah.
have no control over it, so you be pissed off. So I haven't went back and watched any of the episodes. I watched it one time and I'm good.
All right then. So now we're going into like the show into some of your castmates. Now, were you worried or did you feel any kind of way about Quad being on the show still, being that was Dr. G's ex-wife? Like, were there any like feelings about that?
Um, I didn't really feel like nothing was gonna happen because she actually reached out to us when we got engaged. Remember, she
Mm-hmm.
was like, all of a sudden I posted that we got engaged, and then I look in my comment section, she in my comment section, and she's like, congratulations, I wish you all the blessings in the world. Now, mind you, I don't follow her and he don't follow her.
Mm-hmm.
So she over here in my comment section, see. So I just like, okay, so she clearly is happy. And then I saw a clip that her and the dentist did together, and she was talking about, oh, I actually commented. I was so happy I saw a butterfly. So it was to me it came off as okay. There's no hard feelings here, and it was Heavenly and it was Jackie asked me to come onto the show. So I was like, okay, well, in that message that I posted, I had said I don't want no drama with I don't know her, so why would there be any drama with her? I don't know her, and I'm not a messy type of person. Like, okay, you moved on, that's good for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you happy for us, stay in that.
Yes. Because like when you think about it, as a person that watches the show, and when you hear about Quad coming back to the show, and then they throw in, oh, Dr. G is coming back with his fiance. Oh my God, it's gonna be a whole bunch of drama. That's what we all thought it was gonna be. So when we watch it and we see, oh, it's okay, it's not what we thought it was gonna be, because sometimes when you get the ex-wife and then the new fiance in the same room, we automatically assume that there's some type of friction there, but it doesn't
Right.
always have to be that all the time,
It doesn't, because it's like we ended up getting together way after they got divorced. So you know what I'm saying, and when they were separated, then he got divorced, and then I met him when he was divorced. So it was just like, there shouldn't be any drama. Why would there be any drama?
Right.
So it was just weird. I don't know, like it was just weird once I got there, and then she wasn't filming with us. Like I learned that, they weren't really saying anything, but I learned that none of them would film with her because they didn't have genuine relationships with her.
Mm.
So from what I have been hearing, they hadn't talked to her in over a year and all that kind of stuff. Now I ain't gonna lie, you have to maintain some type of relationship with these women whenever you film with them. You gotta have somebody to film with.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that until like I'm just learning, and I'm like, oh, and they keep on mentioning her, and I'm like, well, what's going on? Because she ain't here. Y'all keep talking about her, and then I think Phaedra, she told me, she was like, they're not filming with her. So she was the only one willing to film her to bring her around.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. So at the beginning of the season, nobody would film with her.
Right. And I think that she was still negotiating her contract. So like, yeah, nobody would film with her. And the only person that was willing to bring her around was Phaedra.
Okay.
Because I didn't know her. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know
Yeah.
her. And then from what I learned, they weren't filming with her because I guess they didn't have a genuine relationship with her, and nobody heard from her. That's what they kept saying. It was getting on my nerves. It was getting on my nerves because I'm like, well, okay, well, somebody need to call her because y'all was getting my nerves because they came to the hoedown talking jazz, and I'm like, well, have y'all reached out to her? Like, damn, like it's getting on my damn nerves. I don't know what's going on, but somebody need to get to talking and explaining something because it's getting on my nerves.
Yeah, because they kept bringing her up in your presence. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
So I get what you're saying. Um, so when you got on the show, who was the most welcoming to you on that cast?
I will say at first it was definitely the dentist all up in my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like it was definitely her. She was welcoming. Simone was Simone was very welcoming. She was definitely very welcoming. And she always stayed authentic. Always stayed authentic. But I would say, yeah, definitely the dentist was welcoming, and she was trying, she would call, you know what I'm saying? She was calling me every day and stuff like that. And she was answering my questions about production and all that. But also she was trying to get me to round me up to fight with the ex. And I was like, I'm not gonna do that, because my husband had already had a chit chat with me prior, and he was like, look, babe, that chapter in my life is gone. I'm not trying to go back and revisit that. Avoid that situation as much as you can. And that's why you see me not really acknowledging her too much and like not really giving her anything. Basically like just being nice, because if I'm nice, you ain't gonna have nothing to really say. And
Right.
then if you saying something, and then now if you saying something, now let me adjust my seat and address you, because I'm like, we never even had a real conversation the whole time. And she actually was trying to be my friend. She was actually always trying to be my friend. And so whenever we wrap up and I see these interviews, I be seeing different things. I'd be like, wow.
I'm gonna say this. I die every time you call that lady the dentist. Like I'm trying.
I
I'm,
call her Dennis the Menace.
I'm trying to be professional, not laugh, but it's too funny to me. Um,
Because what I have learned is the devil will try to confuse you. You see, I noticed that the devil will try to confuse you by naming his kids, his children, God's names, his
mm,
kids. See, I'm not gonna be confused by that. Devil, get behind me. Okay. You ain't gonna trip me up. Okay. So I'm not even gonna call his name. I ain't gonna call his name. I'm not gonna do it.
oh my goodness. Okay, so at the beginning of your time on the show, you were annoyed with all of the quiet talk, as you just said, right?
Yeah.
So did you think at any moment that she wouldn't be mentioned at all? Did you know,
No,
did you
no, no,
think?
no. I knew that we would eventually meet, but I never knew when. And I knew she would be mentioned. That was never the issue. But it
Uh-huh.
was just like
It was excessive.
it was excessive. It was like being very messy, just trying to like like you saw on the show, like the dentist, she kept on being like, well, she did this, she had this, she was talking a lot of noise or whatever. She wasn't doing that in front of me though at first.
Mm-hmm.
She was being all my friend, like my friend. It wasn't until the pamper part she switched up and it got back to me. She was
Mm-hmm.
being one way in front of me. But when you see this stuff, you see them green screens and all that. Also, bitch, you been talking cash shit the whole time. So you know what I'm saying? Like you been talking cat, like I didn't watch enough about the show. And Tori's like, you should have did your homework. You should have known she'd be like this. And I'm like, I didn't watch enough like to give a damn. You know what I'm saying? And if I did, I probably wouldn't have joined the show.
Oh. Oh, well, okay then. All right, so since we just mentioned like them mentioning Quad a lot, did you ever feel pressured to dislike Quad by the other women, and did you ever feel like some of the ladies weaponized you against Quad?
I did feel pressured at times, yes, because even like literally they'd be trying to like get me like, well, just say this, say that. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna say anything that's not authentic to who I am.
Mm-hmm.
So like, and it's like you want me to start the beat with her, but I don't know her. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not. That's not the type of person I am. I didn't come on here to be fighting and start mess. That's just not who I am. So I'm not gonna do what you tell me to do. And then like, and then I'm the one that got to deal with it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not me. So I was just gonna be my authentic self. And a lot of people like, whenever I didn't do what people wanted me to do, it was, oh, you fanned out over here. I just want to know what the hell is the fan out over, especially on all y'all. What the hell is it the fan over? I've worked with medical professionals. The only difference is that y'all on TV and y'all been on TV for 10 years and you got to keep peeing on TV clearly because you know what I'm saying? What have y'all been doing? Because again, what is there to fan out over? Ain't nobody doing that other than what some of them are, doing something significant in the community, and those are things that I care about. But if you ain't right, listen, you ain't running no damn businesses. You're not doing anything special for me, but not put money in my pocket. What the hell is it to fan out over? I'll wait.
You giving it to me.
I'll wait because I'm just like, what is it? Because these hoes they ain't paying my bills. That's something I would fan out over. Throw me a stack, then I might go. Ooh.
Oh my goodness. So at the was it a bachelorette party or was it a pamper party or was it both? Like I get it mixed up sometimes, but at the party, Phaedra brought Quad. So
Yes.
what was going through your mind when Phaedra walked outside and came back with Quad? Like what was in your mind?
I was like, what is going on? I had a feeling that might happen. I did have a feeling because me and my friend were talking about it earlier. And she's like, I was like, I think they're gonna invite her to the party or whatever. I was like, I wouldn't be surprised. But I was like, I'm not gonna worry about it because I had a lot of things going on with my real wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think in that same scene, I was flipping out over the $14,000 that they was trying to get me to pay when somebody else was supposed to be paying it, and I really had to pay it by midnight, and I was pissed off, and that was like my main thing because that's not what we agreed upon. This third party. So my wedding planner was really like, hey, we need this $14,000 by midnight, and I'm like, right now, and then they're telling me to take a phone call. You about to have your wedding planner call, and I'm like, damn. So my mind was mostly on that. So when she came, I was like, you know what? I had already been upset about to run through them producers' rooms because I was pissed off, and it made it look like I was just mad at my sister. That just wasn't the case. I was frustrated, but I didn't have all that energy towards my sister.
They
No,
did make it look like that
they
though.
did make it look like that. So definitely, because if you go back and watch it, one of the ladies that worked, one of the producers, they was trying to get me to stay in the scene because I was trying to actually leave. Like, man, fuck this. I was just irritated, and when they brought her in, I was just like, my friend had just talked to me in the bathroom, like, girl, you acting a whole ass right now. You cutting up, and they got cameras on you. So she was all like, relax. This is supposed to be extension of work and happy hour. You need to chill. You don't need to be acting like this on TV. She was getting on my ass. So when they did that, I was like, okay, I remember what Gregory told me. Don't go start no mess or nothing like that. Don't have that energy towards her. And I just was like, okay, well, I'm in scene. Okay, she coming in. Oh, okay. I was like, come sit next to me because I know these hoes been talking about you and I know they want me to fight with you. So I was like, come sit next to me and let me tell you exactly how I feel about you because I don't know you. So that's when I was like, I don't have a problem with you. And I did say, but because of my husband, because Gregory, he don't mess with you, I can't mess with you. And I said it just like that. Well, I said it with the F word actually. But I was, I had a little something to drink. And I just was, I was just like, I don't have a problem with you. And I think that Toya definitely wanted me to be on some rah-rah type stuff because she don't like her. And I told Toya, like, I understand that you don't like her, but I don't know her. I can't, you know what I'm saying? That's just naturally, that's not me, you know? And she's like, well, you'll see how it's going to go as you progress in the season. I'm like, okay. Oh, okay. I was like, why are you so worked up? I was like, Toya, why are you so worked up? I was like, girl, I don't really care. Like, I'm more worried and concerned about my wedding right now. Because this is my real wedding in 2 days and my shit ain't together right now.
Right. Like that was the most important thing, not the fact that Quad was in the building like that. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
and then the way they dramatized it like you was really about to go off because she was there. I just knew you was gonna go off because she was there. And I slick wanted you to go off because I felt like why would she bring her? But
Right. But I didn't want to start anything to give it a reason for us to fight because I remember what Gregory told me. But I definitely addressed Phaedra and we talked in Napa and we definitely spoke and I was pissed. I was like, Phaedra, don't ever do that shit again. Don't play with me. I don't care who told you to do what and what you do, but you should have ran that by me because it would be a different story if I were to get your ex-husband's new wife and bring her to your events. That would be a problem, wouldn't it be? And she was like, well, no, whatever. And I was mad. I was mad. Because regardless, I don't care. Because my thing is, regardless, I don't care how long you've been on TV. That don't do shit for me. You know what I'm saying? That don't do anything. Like, okay, you've been on TV. It's a job. You know what I'm saying? I work a job. I put my drawers on one leg at a time like you. So that's how I felt. I was like, I don't care who you are, but you don't try me again. Because if you want to act for TV, I'm going to act right back.
oh my goodness. Okay. Now this is the last Quad question. What is your current relationship with Quad? And do you think Quad is trying to force a connection with you guys based? Because that was a question from someone that watches the show. Because I took questions, I made my own questions, and I took questions from
Oh,
other
okay.
people. And what's your current if there is a relationship with Quad?
There's no relationship with her. I think that in the beginning, I felt like in a way she was trying to force a relationship. And, I just told her, like, look, out of respect for my husband, he don't want that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way we can be friends. There's some things that was said that you said about him. And,
Yeah.
it's just best that we don't be friends. You know what I'm saying? I'll be cordial and stuff like that, but I think it's just best for us not to be friends out of respect for my husband. Because, as you see, I don't know if you've seen any interviews that she's done, and I've seen stuff resurfacing, Bravo Shaver repost stuff. And it's like, it's just too much inconsistency. Like, I don't really do lukewarm, you know what I'm saying? You got to be one way or the other. That's just how I am. So I just think it's best out of respect for my husband, just to not be friends.
Fair enough. Okay. So now we're going to Dr. Jackie. Now, you went off on her this season.
I did.
What made you go off on her like that?
Okay, so she encouraged me also to be part of the show, and I saw some behavior with her and the dentist that I did not like, and it was getting on my nerves. And the ladies were sitting me down and were like, give us a chance, and they know that they were purposely doing things to me. Like, I was upset because I'm sitting here at the public service announcement. I'm coming in in support of Jackie or whatever. And there's times that like I felt like the dentist was shaming me about my endometriosis, like, oh, at least I can have kids. And there was a lot of too much laughing going on for someone that also, has some fertility issues. So
Yeah.
I just felt like, it was too much kikiing and playing around that, especially when with my condition I had no control over. But also there wasn't enough educating on her behalf, either educating her friend, because anytime, I went to the PSA and as soon as I walk in there, it was like, you look pregnant or whatever. So I'm like, oh, don't do me. I don't, I have a condition. I have two cysts in my stomach and I'm on the waiting list getting surgery. And I just felt like at times, instead of I'm sitting here, I'm here for you. You need to check your friend, and you're telling me, hey, don't argue with the fool because it makes two fools. And I'm like, oh no, I ain't no fool. You know what I'm saying? And that's your bestie. Then what that make you? So it was just like, it was just stuff that was irritating me. And then, things were done purposely hazing me, and it just wasn't funny, especially around the time when I was getting married and stuff like that. And I'm looking at them, they like, what's wrong with you? I just had COVID, I had come back from my honeymoon, I had COVID. And it was just like too much playing around with that kind of stuff. You have no control whenever you don't feel good and you help. And then you got people talking shit to you, you know what I'm saying? So you get irritated, and all of them are like, well, just give us a chance, put your big girl panties on and all this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm calling me little girl, this and that. And I'm like, I'm getting irritated, you know what I'm saying? And they know I'm getting irritated, so they had to talk with me like, calm down, because I start snapping. and and I'm like, calm down, put your big girl panties on, give us a chance. And then all of a sudden, when we get to Hilton Head, it's like everybody's rallying behind her, Jackie, like, oh, everything's gonna be okay. Mind you, there's some stuff that happened 7 years ago. So I'm like, well, we talking about some stuff that y'all just did a couple of days ago and a couple of weeks ago. And now all of a sudden we rallying behind her and y'all talking about some stuff that happened 7 years ago. It's not like we taking Jackie out to the airport he was getting caught at with the hoe. It's not like we you know what I'm saying? Like, and you telling me we can't go to a whole city because your husband cheated. I was just like, y'all got me twisted. I know this is some bullshit. I was mad. I was like, this is some bullshit. So I was irritated. I was in the charter bus explaining to them like, y'all got me twisted. Like for real. Like for real. I was like, this is too, like, y'all really is getting on my nerves. So when she arrives, and then like, the dentist, she rallying behind her like, I can't believe you, mind you keep bringing it up, girl. You more mad than she is. So we get there and everybody's like, oh, we feel so bad for Jackie. I just wasn't feeling it. Like I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, shoot, let's get us some drinks. Let's talk about it.
Right.
Let's talk about it, because Jackie, you had brought up Gregory's when he cheated on his ex with the hotel room. Mind you, it ain't got nothing to do with me, but I was sitting there like, okay, what more y'all gonna do to me? That's what I was saying. And then she was like, well, remember the girl that he was cheating with the hotel room? We invited her next. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was already in a negative place. So I was like, okay, I got you. I got you. So when we get to Hilton Head and you over here, I couldn't take it. Like, I couldn't take it. I was like, this is some bullshit. I was like, no. And she was all like, well, I bring it and all that. I'm equipped for the hot seat. I'm like, you can't equate your character to your career. Like, I know they got CAs and R's, but girl, we can't get confused. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it confused. You cut it out. I just want to say, cut it out. Cut it out.
Okay. So based off of the things that some of the cast members have said, some ex-cast members like Mariah and Buffy, the consensus is that the show villain is Dr. Heavenly, but the real villain is Dr. Jackie. Do you agree or disagree with it?
It's hard for me to make that decision because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as you can see, the dentist, she running on a rampage, lost her goddamn mind, forgot she got a whole career and everything, and she just running off at the mouth. And I'm like, girl, I don't know Jackie enough to deem her as that.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say that, but I will say she does stuff and she's protected.
Mm.
She be protect. That's now I don't like. Then that's the stuff I don't like.
Okay, so you feel like she's protected, basically.
I do.
Mm.
Because okay, if you go back and look at the scene, how many times I called, they showed that scene like 8 times. Me calling her the B word. They showed the one thing she did, the once, but they showed. I'm like, well, so y'all had to play that scene out. Like, damn, I swear it was like like 10 minutes of the show got taken up with them constantly playing the same scene of me calling her the B word.
So do you think that she's protected because of her profession?
I don't really understand that. Like, we all have professions, so I don't really know. I don't get it. I don't really understand it because I'm like, why? Because I don't feel like we should put anybody on a pedestal. Like, to
Mhm.
me, I don't put anybody on a pedestal, and that's why it was so easy for me to say those words to her, because it was just like, it got to a point where I was like, you know what, I feel disrespected. You've been behaving like my peer. You've been, you had mean girl behavior. So it's just time for me to, treat you like as such. Since you want to be with the girls, I'm gonna treat you like one of the girls. So that's how I felt. I was like, whatever, fine. You want to be my age. You want to play with me in the sandbox? Let's do it, baby. And that's how I felt. So I was just like, okay. But I think that maybe because she's the oldest, and stuff like
Mhm.
that. But I do feel like they do kind of protect her because everybody's pissed off about the reunion, and people didn't hold her more accountable. And I spoke. They cut my segment out. You see what I'm saying? I did speak. They didn't use my footage. So,
Yeah.
and it's not like I was bashing her. I wasn't bashing her. I just told her like I was hurt by the statements. And I'm a woman that has been dismissed in the past by her pain. And I just said that, hey, I think that you could have did a better job with advocating for me. That's
Mm.
what I said. And I will never take away that I think Jackie's a really good doctor. I think she is. But it was just some things that I saw that I was like, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just gotta do a little better.
Yeah, I think this is probably the last Dr. Jackie question. How did you feel about the recent negative media attention that Dr. Jackie got about the comments that she had made a couple of years back on Dr. Heavenly's YouTube?
I actually talked about that at the reunion, and I was like, I felt bad. I felt bad for her.
Hmm.
I really did, because everybody's trying to cancel her and stuff like that, and I'm like, ooh, that's terrible. But as this was going on, I'm also watching the season. You know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it put me in a weird position, and I'm watching these lives that Phaedra is doing, and I don't feel like I'm being supported. I don't feel like I'm being respected. I'm seeing these green screens, and I'm like, oh, so we talking cash money shit. Okay, okay. So it was kind of hard for me to come out to make a statement on her behalf, and I was like, I just couldn't make a statement. I was like, you know what? Since I'm low and you got to bring me up to your level, then you don't need me to come out and release a statement. I think you got that. You got your support system, and I didn't feel like I had a support system, and I have to just be honest about that. That's my real, true, authentic feelings, and I really wanted Jackie to recover from that, because I don't think that she fully deserved that. But I did ask at the reunion. I asked the dentist, "Are you doing this for clicks and views? Because it leads back to your YouTube."
Hmm.
So you didn't delete it. And she was like, well, Jackie wanted to keep it up, and she didn't want to hide anything. And I was just like, it all leads back to you, though. And you've been talking a lot of, that's when you see me, you talking a lot at the side of your damn neck. They probably, and I don't even know if they'll actually show me saying that. They probably just showed it like previewing, but like I'm saying, maybe I'm just too real, and that's why I get cut out.
That tends to happen, honey. Um, Now, since you mentioned the YouTube, because this wasn't even a part of the question, but now I feel like I gotta ask it now. Do
Okay.
you like when they was trying to say that they suspected that Quad was the one who put the video out? Did you ever believe that? Because my mother and I was just talking about it last night, and I was like, well, why would they think that Quad did that when it was on Dr. Heavenly's page and anybody could just go back and pick it up and put it out there if they want to? So why would they? Did you like? Was you in that
I
you know.
remember when that happened, and then when I was talking to everybody, it was the dentist that told me that back when it happened. That was back in around Christmas time, and I think there was a lot of things that happened behind the scenes
Hmm.
between the ex and Jackie. I think there was a lot of other things that went on behind the scenes, and I don't know if it had to do with competing for higher pay, something like of that nature. But um, from this is what I gathered, so I can only speak to how what I saw it as, and there were some things that was said back to Jackie, maybe Jackie didn't like, and then like once the show wrapped up and all that, and then I think that his ex only got 8 episodes,
Hmm.
so I didn't think that I didn't know her enough to I didn't blame it on her or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I just feel like somebody got to be accountable. If it was said on the YouTube, you can't blame that on nobody else. It's just like it was said, regardless, So it's like I want to know who released it. It don't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like it just doesn't matter. It ain't gonna change nothing. It was said, so you just gotta own up to it and apologize. That's it. You can't blame nobody for that.
That is very true. I agree. So now you and Dr. Heavenly. I know you ain't gonna say her name. Okay, so let me just say this. Now you and the dentist. Y'all have been having major issues. So how did you feel when she first spoke on your relationship with Dr. G? I think it was at the funeral home, maybe when I first saw y'all getting into it, maybe. Was it the funeral home?
Oh, yes, but it was the pamper party when she was talking about
Yeah.
it ain't gonna work and all this kind of stuff. But she wasn't telling that to me. I was in the bathroom. So it
Uh-huh.
was my maid of honor that was out there, and my maid of honor actually called her trifling, like, oh, because she was admitting to when we went out, we did the scene together. She was ordering the shots and she was drinking the water because, like, Toya's like, well, you should have been. Toya's like, you should have been watching the show because you would have known she only drank brown liquor. Like, girl, I'm sorry. I don't know if I would be paying attention to y'all like that. I'm sorry. Like I just won't. But she's like, well, you should have known. I'm like, I wouldn't have known that. But she was encouraging me, and she was like, she was kept ordering shots and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't know she would. I just didn't know she would do that. I didn't know she would do that. And I understand that we're trying to make a show, but that to me, I didn't like how that was done to get information out of me to turn it up, I guess. But that's when she was talking trash and at the pamper party, and my maid of honor told me that. But in that same scene when we were drinking, I remember in the beginning, right before we started drinking, I was like, "How do you deal with conflict?" And she told me a story about her husband, and she said that he back years ago when he came home late, she hit him in the head with a frying pan. And I was like, "Oh, okay." She just volunteered that, but mind you, I think they be protected. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't show that. So when I brought it up, you see how she looking shocked, like, and she's all like, I'll kick your ass, or whatever. And I'm like, no, I'll kick your ass up in this funeral home. I don't mind. I don't care that we in the funeral home.
So you think they protect Dr. Jackie and Dr. Heavenly?
Somewhat, yeah. I'm be honest, yeah, they do.
Hmm. It kind of goes back to my original theory. Like I really feel like because a lot of people feel like they're protected, and I kind of believe that it has more so to do with the profession that they're in, and they trying not to, you know,
I think so too. Yeah.
drag
No,
them
no, no.
too
And you
hard.
know what? She actually explained that to me. She actually did explain that to me because she said that that's why they really be wanting the wives to turn up because they're not gonna show everything that the doctors do because they do gotta be protected. They doctors. You know what I'm saying? But also at the end of the day, like it's interesting for me because I actually have a real job and I work for the government. So it's just like I try to be mindful, of the things that I do and I say or whatever. But I don't be saying nothing outrageous, with everything within reason. And that's why I go by Sweet Tea on the show, and I'm Letitia off the show. In
Hmm.
case anything were to happen, I'm an actress. I'm Sweet Tea. That's Sweet Tea. I'm Letitia. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to keep that separate.
Okay, I feel
Yeah.
that. Now, what is it about the dentist that gets you going? Because it's like anytime that lady comes for you, you come right back, which I kind of admire that because I feel like some of the women on the show just let Heavenly go in on them, but you don't let her get you down. So why? What is it about her that make you go off the way that you do?
um,
Because that live was
because
legendary.
a lot of things, honestly, a lot of things I did not even speak to. Because mind you, from what I heard, she was going on her YouTube ever since the show first aired in November this whole time. So I've only came out a couple of times just to address her, but it was just like some things when she was just hitting too low and it was getting back to me. And I'm seeing these disgusting messages of these weirdos coming in my messages like, you lied about your condition or whatever, and I'm like, who like, where's this all coming from? And then I see stuff resurfacing like on these other blog pages, and I'm like, oh, so it's this hoe right here. Oh, so I was like, okay, so she goes on and she speaks about the show, but she doesn't always tell the truth. Like she fabricates the truth and embellishes it, and I just think that, like, just, I guess, for a story, I guess just to make the story interesting, but like, I don't think certain things, I think you should not do. And when I was getting these weirdos in my comment section like, oh, you lied about your condition with your husband, like, my husband's a whole he's a whole doctor. He's a doctor of psychiatry and a doctor of internal medicine. You don't think for a second that my husband don't know what's going on with me? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not him that's in a rush to have a baby. It's more so I just want to get it done. And well, he is in a rush in a way, but he's like, if we don't have a baby, it ain't the end of the world. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's just like, for people to be so simple minded and listen to the dentist, and that's not her lane. You know what I'm saying? Her teeth is her ministry. Vaginas aren't. You gotta stick to what you know. And I just feel like for her to be spreading misinformation and saying, oh, the doctor told me that I may have issues with fertility. She never deemed me as infertile. You're not considered infertile until you try at least a year. It ain't even been a year yet that I have been trying. I just got surgery back in August, and I just started trying. I had to be on birth control until I healed for at least 3 months. So I just think the ignorance that was spread, it was just weird. And for people to, and it's been disappointing because it's been ignorant people that come in my comment section that are just so uneducated or miseducated by the dentist. And it's just like, it's just disgusting. You're supposed to, I thought that we're supposed to use the platform to educate our people, and I'm all for that. But sometimes I don't mind checking a bitch when it's needed and educating them when they need it. So I'm just saying.
Okay. So like I said, every time I get ready to ask you something, you already answered it. So that's a good thing. That's a good
Good.
thing.
Okay. I just be in. I guess I've done these interviews so many times.
Yeah, but that's it's easy for me. I ain't gotta that's one less thing I got to say. So do you think you and Heavenly were ever friends?
I knew that we were cool, but I knew that we were somewhat frenemies. I knew that we were gonna have drama. I knew that, just her personality or whatever, because I like to joke around. You know what I'm saying? I joke around. I talk a little yin yang out the side of my neck too, a little bit. But I didn't think that she would go as low as she went. You know what I'm saying? Like, some stuff, I'm like, I understand that it's a TV show, we're gonna shade each other, but I did not know that she would go as low as she did for the TV show. And I think it was mostly to avoid telling her own story, because I had learned that she had told me that they wanted to see more of her relationship. Her daughter was graduated. They wanted to see more of a storyline from her. And people they wanted to see her go through something, and she just wasn't really willing to talk about her relationship. So I understand, like, I started seeing just her ways, and I was like, okay, you got to attach yourself to someone, you got to start some mess or whatever, so to keep the attention off of your relationship. And that's when I did that video, and I said that because I know that you're insecure about this, I'm gonna stay on your relationship every time, bitch. It's on. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, she was speaking about my relationship. She was speaking about my health condition. She was saying I come from nothing and all these things, all these interviews. And I just started seeing that. And I was like, and she started making up lies. That's what really bothered me. Like, I hated that she lied about stuff, because she's like, I've been down in her businesses and stuff. And I'm like, well, if I pay my hard-earned money for your university, and then you make up lies and say that my husband was yelling at me during a session while I was in your class. I just feel like I wasn't even in Atlanta. I was in Chicago, and I just felt like that was really low to fit your narrative. So you would put that on a black man. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Mm-hmm.
would just lie and I didn't like how that went. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, I didn't like how that went, and like I had said that he was controlling, but I first of all I used the wrong word. He was manipulative because I definitely got in his ass about the whole alarm system thing, and I was just like, he tried to manipulate me. My family members keep calling me, and I'm like, I have to call them back. Um, Yeah, so it was just a lot going on at the time, and I was disappointed in how low people would go for a storyline. That's what disgusted me. And I was like, you know what? I started speaking up for myself because what you're not gonna do is lie on me, lie on my family. And I didn't appreciate that.
Now, why did you tell that lady that her mama was in hell?
It
No.
just listen, like I apologize for that, but it just flowed out because she had already been talking about my endometriosis and talking about my husband, and I come from nothing. I talking about my family, and so whenever she came on the live, Phaedra had already told me she was supposed to be on the live tonight. And it took her a while to come on, and she tried to pretend like she was sick, but she came on anyway because she wanted to make a grand entrance, just to get the people talking. She's very calculated. She really is. So I
Mhm.
knew she was joining. I knew she was going to join. And I was like, all right, Phaedra already called me. I was like, okay, go ahead, put her, get her on, whatever. And I said, I don't like her. Okay, so I don't know what's gonna come out of my mouth. So she came in when I was talking about I think they were talking about grandmas or some grandmas, and we were watching the show live. And she came in and was like, "Did you say something about me?" I'm like, "Girl, what is you coming down here with this bonnet on and these curtains falling off the rods in the background? Like, girl, like you are reading Rainbow, you know?" So she started talking about at least I can have kids or whatever. And then she's like, she started saying that. She said that first. I heard her say that. So my mind just went like, okay, go to hell, Tisha. Go to hell. Go to hell. So when she said the show go to hell, and then the first thing my in my head, it just went, your mama there. You know what I'm saying? So I apologize for it because that's not really, I was mad. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. I'm not made for this. Like, leave me alone. But my thing is, I don't know. She was trying to go on her YouTube to say, oh, she started with me, but no, ma'am, you've been talking since November. You've been talking trash, and um, it was Toya. Actually, she had said something. Toya said something about her mama during the hoedown. Talking about we don't care about your mama being dead or something. She said, and she had said something to me about it, but she wasn't like that. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't hurt. And it's just like, you can miss me with your selective upsetness or your outrage. Miss me with it because you don't make any sense. You be cool over here, and then now you got this energy over here. She picks and chooses. She's very calculated. So you know what I'm saying? Like I peep game. I've been around for the past couple of years. I know who she is. So
All right. So we're pretty much like at the end of this right now. We got like like we got two more questions, and then
okay.
I ask you about your castmates. So where are you currently happy in your marriage at this moment? Like how's that going for you right now, being a person that's married and stuff like that?
It's going good. I will say that, marriage, it can be difficult, especially when you're on a reality show. So, we're still trying to learn the ins and outs of like, what are we going to mention? Like, what's okay though? We have to really find that balance. And I've never done reality TV, and I'm always just my authentic self, and I don't have a good poker face. And I told them like, there's times there would, if I may not agree with what something you're saying, I'm not going to agree with it. That's just how I am. So, but marriage has been good. We just got back from Puerto Rico a couple of days ago. And I just think like right now, I'm learning to separate the show from my marriage at times, because sometimes something will frustrate me. He's done this before, and
Mm-hmm.
something will about something, and he was like, "Babe, you gotta learn how to lead the show. That's the show." But it's just hard because there's so many, there's people keeping up the mess online or whatever. And I guess in a way, because I've never done this before, I was just defending my character. So,
Okay.
but other than that, like we've been good. We're actively trying to have a baby. We, I had my surgery back in August, and I was on birth control to allow myself to heal for 3 months, and I got off birth control back in the end of October. So now we're actively like trying, and I'm super excited yet, but we gonna pray about it, and we're hoping that we are pregnant soon.
Okay, well, you pretty much answered that last question because I was just about to ask you what was your current status of your diagnosis or whatever. So I was just about to ask you that, but you already answered it. So I'm glad to hear that. Now the last thing we do is on this show when Jamar and I do these interviews, we always like when we're interviewing a reality person, we always play a game where we name everybody on the cast and then you tell us how you really feel about that person.
Okay.
And you have been very honest, and I'm glad that you've been very honest and not giving me no Miss USA answers, no
Yeah, that's
pageant
not for
girl
me.
answers. So we're gonna start it with Dr. Alicia.
I like Alicia. I think Alicia can, I believe Alicia has to learn how to pick a side sometimes. You can't just be neutral. You got to be able to pick a side and stand firm, regardless of who these people are. I would
Hmm.
just say that about Alicia. Mhm.
Okay, Toya.
Toya, what you see is what you get. Toya can be at times, she can be materialistic, but she's a very good-hearted person. She really cares about people. She definitely is about forgiveness. Um, but if it's something really bad, she's gonna go to hell with you. But she might look into your heart, and she's very understanding. I really appreciate that, and she's forgiving.
I can see that. I can see that in her. Dr. Simone.
I think Dr. Simone out of the authentic. We also have our issues, but I think she is the most authentic. What you see is what you get with her as well. To me, she's the true matriarch of the show. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? Like, if you're going through something, she really has a heart, and she will check in with you. She will. And she's the easiest to talk to on the show.
Okay. Dr. Jackie.
I would say she is she has her ways. She's classy. I will say she is. She comes up, but she shows her slip sometimes.
Uh,
She does show her slip sometimes.
Quiet.
I would say she's very performative. I would say that. Yes,
Okay.
dramatic. Hmm.
And last but certainly not least, the dentist.
I would say she is from ratchet ass Florida.
Let me knock my hat off my head. Well, that's about it. Now, another question that we also ask, I guess, every time we do an interview is, how did you feel while you was up here? Did I do my job as the interviewer? Did I make you feel comfortable? Like, give me some feedback since I get y'all
Yes,
feedback
you made
on
me.
the on the
Honestly, this is one of my best interviews I've done. I'll be
Okay.
honest. One of my best interviews I've done because you were, you just seemed very like comfortable and you made me feel comfortable. And I was running late. You were understanding. I think that you did a great job, and I love your commentary. I love that you're fair. It seems like you do like a fair amount of research before you, state your opinions about people, and I really appreciate that. So this has been actually one of my best interviews, and you've allowed me to speak to really tell my story. And I mean that says a lot about you. The fact that I feel like maybe I said too much. I don't
Oh no, you didn't. You just kept it real, and that's just what I wanted you to do.
know. Yes,
Well,
yes.
I just want to. Well, first things first. I want to thank you for coming up here, but I also want to thank the go between that brought this together, because I remember trying to reach out for an interview before, and I'm like, oh God, like it's so hard to get in contact with these people. Like I don't know what to do.
I
But
guess
the go,
I guess because
yeah.
it was in I had to go into that extra inbox over there, and I get a lot of messages through there, so sometimes it's kind of hard. But like, someone reached out to me and said that, hey, you had messaged me. I was like, oh, my bad. I had to go in there and approve it, and I was like, oh, okay. It comes to a separate inbox, so
Yeah,
I'm
it
like,
does.
oh,
I kind of
okay.
figured that's what it was. But I want to give them their flowers. They're in the chat somewhere. I think it's how I see it. They were the ones that kind of got us together. So I want to thank them for that, because if it wasn't for them, this probably wouldn't have happened. But also thank you, Sweet Tea, for coming up here. I really had a good time talking to
Me
you.
too.
I had a good time.
We
Like
gotta
this
do
is
this
good.
again, though.
Oh, we should. You follow me now, so if I ever need you
Me
to come back up
too.
here for anything, I'm definitely gonna ask.
Yes, I haven't seen part 2 and part 3 of the reunion. So
Mhm.
I'm just like I'm waiting for that to come out, like Lord Jesus, because you see I'm amped up probably. I think you saw something I was amped up, and it was me versus Quad. So
Well, all right then. Well, I did tell you I was gonna keep you up here for an hour. I did keep you for an extra 11 minutes, but that's all right. But you're free to
Oh,
go.
fine. All right, and bye everybody. Y'all take care. Thanks for listening.
All right
Bye.
then. Talk to you later.
All right, take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Let me see. All right, y'all. And that was the interview with myself and Miss Sweet Tea of Married to Medicine. And we had over 600 people up in the chat. And I really appreciate everybody tuning in. Let me tell y'all something. I was nervous about this. I didn't think that I was gonna do shit. Okay. I've been nervous. I've been thinking about this interview all damn day. I wasn't prepared at all, but it worked out in my favor. So I want to thank everybody for tuning in, everybody that watched, everybody that supported me, all my friends that's in here, all the people that I see in my chat all the time, all my moderators, just everybody that's up in here. This just gives me more, because the Prelude has been out of service for a while now, but this was one of the best things that we could have done. Okay, shout out to Jamar, who's not here, but he still gets the credit because this is our show. Okay, all right, yes, honey. So that's about it. But that was great. That was great. That was great. That was great. I must say that I did a great job. I know I did a great job. But that's about it, you guys. Like I said, I'm glad that you guys tuned in and supported and all of that good stuff. If there's any new subscribers, any people that just tuned in for the first time, make sure you guys subscribe to the platform if you haven't already. We just hit 52K, and there will be other interviews to come. Sweet Tea just gave me the inspiration to reach out to other members of Married to Medicine, and who's to say that that won't happen. Shout out to the other content creators that were in here. We had Aaron Wiles out in here. We had the Brooke Ashley in the building. We had Give You the Real Tea. My brother and best friend Give You the Real Tea was in the building. We had Tramel in the building. Okay. My friend Nikki was in the building. It was so many people in here to support me, and I love it. I love it. Shout out to everybody that shared it. Shout out to everything and everyone. Okay. Now I'm about to go ahead and I'm about to get up out of here, because I do have other things that I do need to film today, but I'm not I'm going to give myself some time to really just rest myself up because, interviews do take a little bit up out of you though. And now that the adrenaline has gone down, I can rest a little bit and just film some stuff for tomorrow later on. Okay. But with that being said, y'all, I am your boy Scotty by Nature TV. Be sure to like, rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, and also click on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever a video drops. And if you want to follow me on any form of social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and my TikTok, it ain't down below. But I'm going to add it once this is over with. All right, y'all. We done. And I'm out. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, y'all.